Good morning, everybody. My name is Dean Payne from the Crate Flexible Office Space. And normally in the back there, we have a guy called Roro from Naked Marketing, but he's at a workshop today. So you've got me and, of course, our amazing carpool honcho guest. The man of the day is Franz Kruger. And it's so good to have you with us, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So good to be here.
We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now, this guy is the director of rentsquare.co.nz, which is a property management company. So I can't wait to find out a little bit more about that. But first of all, Franz, tell us a little bit about your family.
Our family is, I've got the lovely wife, Melinda. We've been married for about 33 years now. I hope I've got it right, because if I have it wrong, right? Mate. Imagine that, yeah. And we've got 3 lovely boys. And yeah, just enjoying New Zealand, enjoying what we have around us. So yeah, just amazing times.
Yeah, that's so cool. And grandbabies?
Grandbabies, of course. Yeah, the oldest is married, and they've got two grandchildren for us now. So yeah.
Did you hear that I'm going to be a grandfather?
I know.
Congratulations. Yeah, joining the executive club, mate.
Congratulations.
Hey?
Yeah, I did invite you, right, to the exclusive club. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. Things are about to change in our household.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So very exciting. But Rent Square, of course, is a property management company, and something I know that you're very passionate about. Tell us a little bit about why you do what you do.
Oh, first of all, people, I think one of the things that we really want to do is give people outstanding customer service. And what I've seen across the country, across the industry, is they don't always get what they deserve. So that's really a passion of ours. We really want to give them the best service they actually deserve. And then the second part to that is, of course, is properties, right? I mean, we link properties, we link people. We take care of properties as if it's our own. We make sure that these properties are being taken care of really well, making sure that tenants are looked after, because if you have a happy tenant, needless to say, you've got a good property management and so on. And last but not least, very small bit of it is also the processes, because our processes are really good.
You are a process king.
Oh, trust me, it's all sorted, it's all done. But yeah, so all 3 of them, passions of ours, people, processes, and of course, properties.
So good. Yeah. I remember you telling me about your incredible software system that allows the tenant and the property owner to be very transparent about what's going on both sides of the fence, and it's a great communication is the key to every successful transaction.
100%. It allows for the property owner to be sitting in Australia or anywhere and still have access to their property. We're very unique in that way. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's rentsquare.co.nz. Very cool website. Go check it out. And of course, we're going to get underway with a very cool topic. But before we go any further, we do want to thank our amazing sponsors. Thank you. Today's podcast is driven by our friends at Albany Toyota.
And we are fed by our mates at Sal's Pizza.
And our tunes are brought to you from The Sound Store. Thanks to our sponsors, and of course a massive thank you to Albany Toyota for our amazing Toyota Highlander that we're driving around right now. What do you think about our Highlander, Franz?
I'll tell you what, Toyota has been always, I think, the number 1 car across the world. Yeah. We've been from South Africa, and even in South Africa, Toyota's the number 1. It's just, I said to my sons the other day, I said, you buy either one of 2 cars, it's either a Toyota or Toyota.
Yeah, and from Albany Toyota. So thanks to Hayden and the guys for our sweet ride today, and go down there and check out their amazing car yard and of course their excellent quality vehicles. All right, on to our amazing series at the moment, Rest, Relaxation and Recharge.
Yes.
Those are 3 pretty incredible words that maybe a lot of us don't really maybe appreciate or put a lot of focus on these days, but man, is it ever becoming more and more important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest challenges that people face is when we all have to focus, right? We have to focus on what we do, our jobs, our businesses, etc. But I think what people don't realize is they also have to focus on relaxation, on rest. Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of, our default is to work, keep ourselves busy. Busy. Busy is a stupid word, because really that doesn't mean productive. It doesn't mean necessarily achieving much, but you can still be busy doing nothing, scrolling on a phone or whatever. but it takes a little bit of concentrated effort to shift that. And I know that you've got some amazing thoughts today. So what's the number one thing that Franz Kruger does to really help you live your best life when it comes to these three words: rest, recharge, and relaxation?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned in life is I don't rest because I'm tired. I rest so that I can be productive. And that changes everything.
Wow.
I know it changes literally everything. It changes.
Say that again, mate. Say that again.
I don't rest because I'm tired. I rest so that I can be productive.
Man, I wonder how many people in this world do that the other way around, eh?
Yeah, I would say less than 1% because people don't realize it. People work themselves into a corner, try to do their best, and which is appreciated. But long story short is, in the end, we're so tired that we sometimes just come back from a rest break and we get into what we have to do again, and we're still tired, right?
Yes.
Whereas if you are rested up and then you get into what you want to do, you're more focused, you're more planning, you're just getting into it properly, and success rates are just so much higher. All
right, so someone who's got this rest thing under control, and we've had a good chat before now, so I can say that you do really well at this. When do you do this? When do you kind of fit this into your busy lifestyle? You know, like how do we do this, Franz?
I think one of the biggest secrets there is to plan your rest breaks as well. This could be a 15-minute break or half an hour break with a friend. So in your busy day, have a break for a coffee with one of your friends, or make sure that you plan your weekends. Make sure that you plan your holidays. Make sure that you plan your long weekends. It also flows through to the family. Family knows, hey, we're going away on that weekend. What I normally do is I plan in December already for the whole next year until December next year. And people go, oh, that's way too organized. But trust me, when you tell your wife and when you tell your family, hey, we're going away in April for the long weekend to this place, everybody's relaxed because they know Dad is not going to be not available. He's going to be available for a break.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very cool. So we've got a guy here that understands that, don't plan to rest when it's too late. In fact, be a little bit smarter and plan resting before you need it, so you can stay in your best game. Yeah. Stay productive and really live on top, right? In control. Yeah. Feeling rested, and that's so cool. All right, there must be sort of a turning point in your life where you thought, man, I've got to get this sorted, because let's be honest, it's a hard one to get sorted, and sometimes it takes a little bit of a wake up call, right, to get these habits in our lives sorted.
Absolutely.
What was that moment for you?
For me, it was when I started my business a few years ago, not this business, a previous business which I had in South Africa. And I started this business and worked myself into a corner. Typical, we all do it, we all fall in the same trap. I worked from home, and my wife came into the room where I was working, and she said, oh, when are you coming to bed? And I said, I'll be there in a few minutes. She said, but it's 3:45 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, okay, didn't realize. So I just worked through the night, didn't realize, and everybody works like that. And then a couple of months after that, still busy building the business, we went on holiday, and I go holiday because I was sitting on the beach with my laptop and my phone. And, you can imagine that I'm talking business, and the family's trying to do a little bit of a holiday around us. And our son was 16 at the time, in that typical, hey, Dad, you're doing everything wrong phase. And he came up to me and he said, Dad, but we're trying to do a holiday with you. We're trying to enjoy you, and we're missing you because you're always on the phone or on the laptop. And it just sunk into me, and I mean, it's many years later, and it's still verbatim part of my life, where I realized my actions are also flowing through to my family, and I didn't realize that. I thought to myself, this is just me doing my business, and I'm in my little world of my business, but I didn't realize it affects people around me, and that was my turning point.
It's incredible, and let's be honest, it's a big, easy trap to fall into, isn't it? Everybody. Let work and situations take over where they have control over you. Yeah. And that is, one of the things, we're actually starting a 100-day challenge at the Crate, and it's the number of our members doing this thing, and you can choose whatever you want. It could be, I want to take a photo of something for 100 days, or I want to go to the gym every day, whatever it is, or stretch, or whatever it is, say something nice to someone. Yeah. My thing, you know what it is? My thing is going to be to say no to one thing every day.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Just say no. And,
That's going to be awesome.
But it's for me, for nobody else.
Yeah.
But just to build in that muscle to go, you know what, I have
To create space.
I have the ability
Yeah.
to have control over my day,
Yeah.
my situation,
Yeah.
my health, the people I want to hang out with,
Yeah.
the business I want to do with people. It's okay
That's
to say
amazing.
no, right?
That's awesome.
But
yeah.
that's a space builder, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah?
100%.
That's quite cool because
Yeah.
actually that's what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
creating space.
creating space.
Yeah.
It's reversing life being dictating to you, and you starting going. You start with a new process and say, "Hang on, I'm still in control. I can dictate to life." Yeah.
Well, how cool that your son was able to kind of, I guess our kids really know how to pull our
They
heartstrings.
call us out. They call us out quickly, and it was a good thing too, because I realized that my wife and family are always first. And that changed my whole approach. And that's where, not long after that, I came across this principle of, you've got to take a break, not because you need it, but because you need to be productive. And I realized that I was on holiday, but I didn't take a break.
Yeah.
And I was just working right through. So I missed the whole point.
And you go on holiday thinking, I'm going to come back refreshed and
Yeah.
energized and ready. But you come back more tired than what
You do.
before you left, right?
I mean, how many people out there, whether it's business people or managers or anyone that's working out there, any employee, it takes them anything between 2 and 4 weeks just to get started after a break.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So important. So cool. So what's been the outcome? And from what I understand, you've been sort of living in this principle for about the last 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah, most probably, yeah.
And it was a seminar you went to where
Yeah.
you kind of heard this concept and went,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
wake up call. So what positive impact has this had in your world?
Well, like I said, the family is now in a space where they realize that I'm available when I planned it. And I think one of the secrets is to plan these breaks again, because if we don't plan it, it's never going to happen. Let's be fair and let's be honest with ourselves. It's never going to happen. You've got to plan it. And then the second part to that is you've got to be disciplined enough to actually do it and make sure that you attend to your breaks as much as you do attend to a business meeting, as much as you attend to the next customer or client, because it's so important that you are rested so that your client and your customer gets the best out of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your family. I mean, I think there's kind of like two obvious personalities that I can think of, and there's a Franz Kruger in this world that is very planned, right? To be planning a year ahead and those kind of things. But it must be so easy for someone like you to fall into the trap of forgetting to plan rest or space into your calendar.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you could get a personality that's not planned at all.
Yeah.
And they never get around to planning this, right? So they're kind of just always freewheeling and racing, trying to play catch up, and then it kind of never happens. So the principle of actually, blocking this in is really key, no matter what your personality is.
Yeah. And I think, one of the key secrets might be a 50-minute planning a session every morning. But where the difference lies is most people think when they do the planning session is they plan their meetings, they plan their day, they plan the deals they want to do, etc., etc., etc. But if they could also, part of that planning session, plan a little bit of a break every day, and like I do, most probably I'm doing it in December because it's a little bit of a slowdown of the year, but pick any part of the year, but have a little bit of a day, sit down with yourself and say, this is what I want to do. I even go as far, Dean, as to plan shows we want to attend or movies we want to go and watch, very detailed, but it's because I've been doing it for so many years. Yeah.
There's a principle in business around finance.
Yeah.
And if you think about finance, money is resource, right?
Yeah.
Time is a resource as well, right?
Exactly.
And in business, when it comes to money, what do they say? They say, pay yourself first.
Absolutely.
Right, it's one of the key principles in business, right? If you don't keep the owner and the person that's putting all the blood, sweat and tears and rewarded, then it ain't going to work.
What's it worth? Yeah.
But how cool if you apply that principle in time,
Yeah.
right? Is when it comes to time, pay yourself first, right?
Exactly.
Give yourself the freeboard you need each and every day to enjoy your day and get the get the best out of your day, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if everybody else is kind of stealing your time and filling in the gaps, and you're feeling absolutely spent and worn out and just, you know, I don't know, just over capacity,
Overcommitted. Yeah.
overcommitted,
Yeah.
then it's not going to be fun.
Absolutely, and in the end, you know, your business is suffering. You know, back to what you just said is, you know, we all know the saying that says time is money, and then people will go, oh, we've got to work hard. But I think if we could swap that principle around and go, actually, money is time, and if you use your time better, you're actually going to make more money.
So good. I remember you telling me a story about the way that you interacted with your team, and there's a situation where you were managing over 150 people.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's another principle that says, you know, look after people. You know, people are the biggest asset in your business.
100%.
And the money will follow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how you created space to do that, because to show connection and relationship with 150 people is a lot of people. Like, that's massive.
Absolutely. You know what? I started in this corporate company and 166 plus people.
Wow.
And I walked in on the first morning and, you know, said good morning to everyone. Walked from desk to desk, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I don't know whether it's because I was the new top manager, or because they were just so busy, but no one looked up. No one said hi. It was the funniest moment, you know, it was this airy moment. And this happened on the second day and the
Welcome.
third. Yeah, I know. And the second day and the third day. And I was like, something's wrong in this culture. And I called the team leaders together and I said, guys, you know what? When somebody says hi to you, the expectation is actually that someone will come back.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, just come back with a little bit of a hello. And I said, can you please, you know, convey this to your teams? And then on the fourth morning, when I walked around, literally everybody was saying, hi. And I was like, it changed the whole culture, you know. And needless to say, that led to them becoming more excited about what they do instead of just working. I don't want people to go to work just to go to work. You know, they need to be part of a bigger picture. In the end, you know, that flows through to the customer, that becomes the money, etc., etc., etc. But it's about, you know, making time for your own, I call it the internal customers, to making time for them. And even when I was sitting at my desk, you know, 160 plus people, and whenever any one of them came to me, I would literally turn around, walk away from my laptop, towards them, face them, talk to them, give them all my attention, and once they leave, go back to what I was doing. Again, creating time. But I also created space in my calendar, very busy calendar, but I created space in my daily calendar for moments like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You know, that's investing in people. And, you know, I think you just say you've selfishly, a little bit like in the plane, you got to put your mask on first. You look after yourself when it comes to time and space, but then, you know, looking after the people around you that I guess you know, potentially we've got a lot of listeners out there today that have got teams, and these are the ones that you can delegate and offload things to, who will happily pick those things up for you if they know that you've got time for them.
Exactly.
Right? You've got their back.
Exactly. I called the team leaders for a meeting on the second day. And when they came along with their laptops, I said, no, take your laptops away and bring your lunch boxes. And they go, why? I said, because we're just going to have fun and relax and have a moment. And one of the team leaders came to me afterwards and he said, it's the first time in his life that a manager forced him to take a break.
So good, so good. So remind us the principle.
Principle is, you know, you don't rest because you're tired. You need to rest so that you can be productive.
Yeah. So good. All right, so I say a lot of people live out there and their world, their mind is a bit of a cluster, right?
Yeah.
Where do people start if they kind of, things are a bit of a mess and they listen to this going, oh gosh, that just sounds like a fresh drink of cold water. I need a bit of that. Where would they start?
Oh, I think the best thing is for anyone is have a moment of pause in your life. You know, if I can encourage everyone listening to this podcast is just pause. It could be a 15-minute pause, it could be a half an hour pause, it could be a day pause. just pause. It could be a Saturday morning pause. Just pause. Think of what you're doing, where you are, what your life is like. Think of your next week and go, okay, that's too busy. I may have double bookings, etc., etc., etc. And just go, okay, hang on, let's replan life. Just pause, go and stop and think about your life. Go a little bit back. Okay, this is what I've been doing. This is what my next week is going to look like, and how do I get out of it? And then start planning. And it may not happen on the first day, right? Because life is happening. But start planning your life towards the next 2 months and go, okay, my goal would be by the end of the second month, I really want to have breaks. I really want to have this. I really need to do that, because it's really not, if the expectation is going to be for you to make a change on the same day, it might be too much. But if you go, okay, I can plan myself out of this across 2 months, absolutely. Yeah.
That's so good. I think sometimes we're afraid that if we miss this day, we're not going to get another one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And how ridiculous is that, right? There's thousands more days
it's going to come
in your calendar.
Yeah.
And to take a day out or half a day or a few hours, whatever it is, and go pause. And it's okay. It's okay. You are totally empowered and have your own permission to take that time. And it's important you give yourself that permission.
Absolutely. And I think what people miss sometimes is the pause. It could be 15 minutes or it could be a day. But that pause actually creates new time for you, which you didn't have before. We rush around. We do everything which we shouldn't be doing sometimes. We're always busy. But if you bluntly honest with yourself and you go at the end of any day and look back across your day and go, what have I done today? And if you can recall more than 5 things, I'll be impressed.
Yeah. That's so good. I'm kind of reminded of when you got like a really full inbox, and maybe it's your personal Gmail or something like that, and it's full and it's just it's called inbox overwhelm, right?
Yeah.
And I remember sitting down with someone and go, how do you sort that? And they go, yeah, let me sort that for you. It's like, select all, delete, bang, and in our internal hyperventilating, like, oh my goodness, what we've done. But then you actually realize that the people who you haven't replied to, they will get back to you.
Eventually.
Hey, I didn't get your email. You might have, I don't know, 5, 10 of those maybe, And then guess what? You just got rid of thousands of emails, and the 10 things you needed to attend to are there.
Yeah.
And it's a scary moment, but it's okay in life to push reset. And I'm kind of thinking like that with your calendar. If people are out there feeling like their world is a cluster, how about just deleting everything in your calendar and starting afresh and building it, almost strategically allowing the things to go in there that you want. Right? Not the things that have crept in there that you never actually ever gave permission to. It just kind of, they almost stole that space in your life, right? Yeah,
I think a good way to approach it, Dean, would be to have a look at your calendar across your week, your work week, and say, okay, out of the 50 meetings set up that you have already set up in your calendar, how many of them do you really need to attend? Coming back to what you just said, about your own life, is you want to say no to one thing. Say no to one of those meetings. Say, I can't benefit or I can't contribute to a meeting, so I don't need to be there, and get out of it. And start, again, getting out of it across a couple of months. It might take you, some time to get out of it, but if you do it purposefully, it's going to happen.
So you think my deleting calendar is a bit radical?
It's a little bit too much. I would not do it.
That's because he's OCD planner, right? Can't handle that.
But my rest times are planned as well. My breaks.
This has been an amazing conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've really enjoyed it.
So did I.
And I hope our listeners have too. I'm sure they have. So thank you, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot, and we implement just one thing today from this amazing podcast. It can make a big difference in your life. So thank you for coming.
No, thank you for inviting.
Of course, if you're looking for a great property manager for your home investment, or maybe you've moved out of town, you're renting somewhere else, you need someone else to look after your home. You're in the Auckland wider area.
The whole Auckland,
and also strategic places like Tauranga and different places where Aucklanders typically have rental places or a second home as well. So if you're looking for the right person who's Mr. Systemized and knows how to build good relationships on both sides of the fence, then Franz Krug from Rent Square is your man. So go to his website.
It's www.rentsquare.com. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Excellent. Thanks, mate.
Thank you so much.